Imagine a person standing in front of a huge, brightly lit room. Inside, there was life. There was laughter, the clinking of glasses, animated conversations, warm handshakes. The people there are connected by invisible threads of sympathy and interest. This person wants to go in. He wants to be part of that warmth. But between him and the room stands a thick, bulletproof glass wall. He knocks, but they don't hear. He waves his hand, but no one turns around. He stands by the glass, hoping someone will notice him, walk over and open the door from the other side. But it doesn't happen. People walk past, their eyes sliding right through him as if he were a ghost. Familiar feeling? Maybe you aren't standing behind actual glass. You're standing in the office kitchen while colleagues discuss their weekend. You're sitting in a coffee shop, surrounded by people, yet feeling like you're in a vacuum. You go to a party and turn into an invisible man, glued to the wall. You think the problem is you, that you aren't interesting enough, charismatic enough, or good-looking enough. You are waiting for an invitation into other people's lives. Today, we are going to talk about the most insidious social trap. I call it the glass wall syndrome. It is a state where you are physically present, but psychologically sending the signal, I am not here. You wait to be noticed, but you do everything to remain hidden. In the next 10 minutes, we will do three things. First, we will dissect the anatomy of this invisibility, why your brain chooses loneliness even when it craves connection. Second, we'll run a diagnostic and identify the signals that repel you from people. And third, we'll build a system, the Lighthouse protocol, that will allow you to shatter this glass and let people find their own way to you. If you are tired of being a spectator of other people's joy and are ready to become a participant, stay with me. Part 1. The Anatomy of Invisibility. Why do we hide? To break the wall, you need to understand what it's made of. Our enemy is not the people around us. They aren't mean and they aren't blind. Our enemy is the defense mechanisms of our own psyche. Let's face it, your invisibility has three fundamental causes. The first cause, fear of rejection, the illusion of safety. This is our most ancient instinct. For our ancestors, being exiled from the tribe meant death. Therefore, your brain believes that being unnoticed is safer than being rejected. As long as you stand in the corner looking at your phone, you're safe. No one can reject you because no one has approached you. You build a glass wall to protect yourself from pain, but that same wall blocks out the warmth. You choose guaranteed loneliness over the risk of connection. The second cause, the validation trap. We often enter a room from the position of a beggar. Subconsciously, we scan people's faces with a silent question, do you like me? Do I belong here? Do you accept me? This neediness creates a heavy, repelling aura. People can feel when someone wants something from them, even if it's just approval, and instinctively they pull away. The paradox is, the more you need attention, the less of it you get. The third cause, the guest mindset. Most people who feel invisible behave like guests waiting to be served. They wait to be entertained. They wait to be approached. They wait to be asked a question. This is a passive position, but charisma is always active. Magnetism is the emission of energy, not the absorption of it. While you are waiting for the world to make the first move, the world just goes on without you. Part 2. Diagnosis. 4 signs that say, stay away. Now that we understand the mechanics, let's do a self-diagnosis. How exactly do you build your wall? Here are 4 specific symptoms. If you recognize yourself in at least 2, it's a serious reason to reflect. Symptom 1. The digital shield. The moment you feel the slightest social discomfort, your hand reaches for your phone. You're not checking email, you don't need to text anyone, you're using the phone as a shield. You think you look busy. In reality, you look closed off. A person buried in a screen sends a powerful nonverbal signal, occupied, entry denied. You are literally hanging a do not disturb sign on your chest. Symptom 2, the scanner gaze. You enter a room and either look at the floor or dart your eyes around quickly, avoiding fixation. You're afraid to meet someone's eyes because that forces contact. But eyes are the only bridge between people. If the bridge is up, no one can cross to your side.
Avoiding eye contact is read by others not as shyness, but as unfriendliness or arrogance. Symptom 3, defensive architecture. Look at your posture, arms crossed, shoulders raised to your ears, bag clutched to your chest. You are taking up as little space as possible. Your body is screaming danger, and humans are subconsciously programmed to avoid sources of anxiety. Your tense posture makes everyone around you tense. Symptom 4, the interviewer. If a conversation actually starts, you panic and begin bombarding the person with questions. Where do you work? How long have you been here? What's next? You're not listening to the answers, you're just trying to fill the silence because you fear the awkward pause. This isn't a conversation, it's an interrogation, and people want to escape from it. Part 3. Liberation. The Lighthouse Protocol. Simply telling yourself to be more confident won't work. Our brain needs a system, concrete steps that hack the old patterns of fear. We aren't going to learn how to manipulate. We are going to learn how to turn on the light. I call it the Lighthouse Protocol. A lighthouse doesn't run after ships. It just shines, and the ships find their own way to it. Level 1. Paradigm shift. From guest to host. This is a fundamental shift in mindset. Wherever you are, at a party, in the office, at a conference, act as if you are the host. A host doesn't wait for approval. A host cares about the comfort of others. Before entering a room, tell yourself, I'm going in there to make other people feel a little warmer. This instantly takes the focus off your fear and shifts it to those around you. When you give instead of ask, you become a magnet. Level 2, the green light signal, microcontact. You need to physically show that you are available for contact. When entering a room, lift your chin, put the phone away, and most importantly, when your eyes meet someone else's, hold it for a split second and give a micro smile. This isn't a marriage proposal. It's just a signal. I see you. I am safe. This opens the floodgates. You will be surprised how often people will start approaching you simply because you were the only one who looked at them with kindness. Level 3, open channel, body unlocking. Your body must confirm your gaze. Keep your hands visible, an ancient signal for I have no weapons. Turn your torso towards the room, not towards the wall. Relax your shoulders. Imagine there is a spotlight on your chest, right at the solar plexus. Shine that spotlight on people, not on the floor. An open posture creates a vacuum of safety that people want to fill with their presence. Level 4, the spotlight effect, the art of listening. When contact is made, stop trying to be interesting. Instead, become interested. Most people desperately want to be heard. Give them that. Ask questions not about facts, like, what do you do, but about emotions and motives, like, why did you choose that field? What's the most exciting part about it? And listen. Listen as if your life depends on it. In a world where everyone talks about themselves, a good listener is a rarity, more valuable than gold. Let's return to the person behind the glass wall. The truth is, the wall doesn't exist. It is built entirely out of your fears, your phone, and your lowered gaze. No one locked you out. The door was always open. The people around you are just like you. They are also afraid of rejection. They are also looking for warmth. They also want to be noticed. Your social life is not something that happens to you when you get lucky. It is something you create right now, in every glance you didn't look away from, in every smile you allowed yourself to show, in every moment you put the phone away and chose reality. So, here is my challenge to you. The next time you are among people, don't wait. Don't look for permission. Become the lighthouse. Take one minimally viable action. Walk in, lift your eyes, and smile at the first person you see. Not for the result, but to remind yourself, you are here, you are visible, and you exist. The glass is gone. Welcome to the real world.